although there's nothing written about, I guess, before Election Day, but when you're voting, isn't that an Election Day? Joining us now to discuss this, Trey Trainor is the chairman of the Federal Election Commission. Can you explain this concept of electioneering? What does this go back to, and what did you see here? Do you see a problem with what Kamala Harris is doing?
Sure. So electioneering is actually, trying to garner votes outside of a polling location while while voting is actually taking place in a polling location. Most states have a distance marker. Some it's as short as 10 feet. Others most have it at about 100-foot line. And it usually is from the actual polling location itself. So where the actual ballot is being cast, 100 feet from there. In the video that you're showing, I mean, she's clearly outside polling now. I can't tell in the video where exactly the polling location is to know how long where she is in relation to that. But if she is within the 100 feet, then clearly she is electioneering within 100 feet of the polling location. And in most states, that would be a crime.
And I assume that a rule like this was probably written before you had these megaphones and microphones that can have that kind of reach, where you could probably still have an impact on the people that are inside voting. Anybody could have heard that. It was very loud. The fact that it's Kamala Harris doing it, of course, nobody cares. But if Mike Pence was out there doing that, the media would be erupting in flames right now, right?
Oh, I'm sure they would be all over him. Those laws themselves actually go back to the days of the Ku Klux Klan. Standing over people while they're voting, checking how people are voting. So, they go back to, pre-civil rights era type legislation to prohibit voter intimidation. And clearly this type of thing can be intimidating to voters, and a presidential or vice presidential candidate standing outside a polling location could be a level of intimidation. I don't know what polling location they're at, but there could be Republicans in there.
It's Ohio. I mean, it's a critical place, a very important swing state they're trying to pull off. You got a lot of different people in that line, some going one way, some going the other. Let's move on to this. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez complaining about long lines, like we just saw in that video, calling these long lines a form of voter suppression. Listen in.
There is no place in the United States of America where 2, 3, 4 hour waits to vote is acceptable. And just because it's happening in a blue state doesn't mean that it's not voter suppression.
What do you think about that comment?
If she considers that voter suppression, then she needs to look at her own state and the people who are running the states. The states are responsible for running the elections. And if there's a long line, it's a function of the fact that the state of New York and the city of New York don't have enough polling locations and enough people working the polling locations. So whatever she's complaining of there is a function of what's going on in her state.
Interesting.
I went to vote just yesterday, and it took me 5 minutes.
Yeah. And I mean, you got long enough time, and with all the early voting, I mean, you should be able to figure out a time to get it done.
Yeah. Here in Texas, we haven't had that type of problem.
I didn't understand what she was complaining about either. If you want to vote, that's what you got to do. Change my vote. I love this story. Is trending on Google. The question, can I change my vote? The president tweeted about it this morning. Here's what he said. Strongly trending on Google since immediately after the second debate is, can I change my vote? This refers changing it to me, he says. The answer in most states is yes. Go do it. Most important election of your life. What can you tell us about this? Can you vote for somebody and then, early voting and then go switch it?
Yes, there are several states that you can change your vote. Especially if you vote by mail, you can go and request your ballot back. Ballot by mail is not open generally until Election Day. Some places maybe the day before, but Election Day, generally speaking. So you can go request your ballot back, and they can give you another ballot to vote. In a lot of states, it's really dependent upon state law, but there are several states that allow you to go request that ballot back. Now, if you voted in person, early voting, you won't be able to change your vote, but especially if you voted by mail, you probably have the opportunity to go get your ballot back.
Okay. Trey Trainor from the Federal Election Commission. Great to see you. Thanks for the insight.
Thanks for having me.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.